Hello, everybody. Have we got?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, we've got a talker. That's good. Hello, Christine.
Yes. The next thing that I have to do is try and get my screen to show you the pictures, but I thought I'd wait for a bit and do that later.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Morning all. Hi Bill. Hi Nick. Good to see you.
Hello, John.
Christine, even better to see you.
Hi there.
Yeah. So we're all looking forward to the interesting talk this morning, Christine.
Oh dear. I'll do my best.
It'll be fine. One of my friends acted as a cook for the National Trust on St Kilda for a period.
All right. Who was that?
Stephanie Blackton, she's called.
Oh, yes. Because that's how I got to go out so often. I did that as well.
Must be.
You cooked, did you?
Gone for 30 years ago. She did that.
Well, it was 10 years ago that 2006 was the first year I went out. And I enjoyed it so much, I thought, how can I get back? And worked out that if I volunteered to be a cook, I could go back more often.
Oh, yeah, good. Are you going to show us a sample of your cookery this morning then?
Well, I don't think so this morning. I could maybe do a different talk on that.
Cooking on St Kilda.
That's it. I'll show you the kitchen. At least I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I seem to have got a little bit of a cough. Not a continuous one, I hasten to add.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've got my glass of water just in case.
That's good.
You haven't been to university recently, have you?
And last time I went distance learning. It was a safer option.
Yeah, I think that's safer just now.
I feel more comfortable now.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Wait, are you going on a canal cruise, are you, John? I see behind you there.
Yeah, well, I thought I would, but the nearest I'll get to the canal this summer. Though unfortunately, the webcam stopped working, so I'm going to have to go down and have a look at it and find out what's wrong with that. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, John.
I've sent you an email to forward on to our treasurer because not that it's a lot of money, but the Zoom meetings costs are beginning to accumulate. So I thought I would ask for a reimbursement.
Okay, that seems reasonable. I must say I was wondering how the money's actually doing at the moment because he doesn't seem to have asked for a sub.
Well, I think not much contact between us all, but I honestly think that we ought to contribute something towards the cost of these. It's working out about £6 a meeting, and there's typically maybe 18 or 19 people at most meetings. So if we contributed a very small amount, like £1 a month each, that would more than cover the cost of the Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea, John.
As long as that doesn't drive the numbers down, but I'm sure it won't.
I think most of us can manage £1.
The only thing there will be actually collecting it and getting it to.
We can wait until the total cost today. We've had 6 months of these meetings with 12 meetings, and the total cost is under £70. So I mean, it's not a lot of money. So we can wait until we're actually physically together again before we collect it in. But I think as a principle,
It might be completely broke by then at the present rate of progress.
you think?
I think what we'll try and do, if Mike's here today, if not, Tony's not on yet, I'll take an action to phone him and I'll get him to let us know how much you need to. Are you able to contact him?
No, I haven't got an email address, but I sent it to Chris and asked him to forward it on to him.
Yeah, that's the best way. Just send him a bill. But I need to contact him to find out how much money there is in the account. Bearing in mind we should have had an AGM 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We normally collect in a £20 a year subscription, so
Which is also
obviously we might want to ask for a lesser amount in view of the circumstances. I don't know.
about half our members aren't attending this as well, of course.
Yeah,
And
although the YouTube account is being well subscribed. There's a lot of people looking at the videos afterwards.
Yeah, there's still a number of people I know don't do. Oh, Tony's on now. There's a number of people I know don't do Zoom or even have computers that I used to phone, and I have to say for the last 3 months now, I've been very remiss in doing that. And I'll try and start that again. Now I'm getting used to this poisoning routine.
Yeah, you're looking very, very well on it. So you're obviously getting on okay, are you?
I think so. They gave me one of my big whack lots yesterday, and then they put me on steroids for a few days. So, and then I crash and burn for a couple. But after that,
don't compete at the Olympics.
Yeah. But
Hi, Jim. Good morning.
Touch wood, it seems to be going well.
Good.
Yes.
But,
And Bruce, you're back at home again, Bruce.
Oh, good morning. I came in at a bad point there. You were asking for money. But that shouldn't be a problem. If you give us a bank account, we can pay directly in to that account. Yeah.
But basically, Mike's hit and miss about whether he joins this, I think. He may even watch it later, I don't know. But we need to call. I'll phone him and have a chat. And then if we need to email him, Chris, actually I can do that direct as well still. So I'll do that.
Yeah, I would have thought if we asked those who are actually participating in the Zoom meetings to contribute £10 each, that would cover us for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
No.
No, not a problem at all.
Are you happy with that, Tony?
Yes, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
You can hear me fine, yeah. Yeah, that sounds all right to me. I would certainly go with it. Whilst I'm speaking, I got an apology from David Alwa. He received one just not so long ago that his dead wife's brother passed away during the night over there. And he doesn't feel he's got a lot to do with the phone calls to Kenya, where he actually lived. So out of eight children in that family, there's only one person left now.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah, but they live to good ages normally. 80. The men folk seem to live a lot longer in their 80s.
I know David does a lot in Africa in relation to providing clean water for people. He's involved very much in that project.
Yeah.
Yes, he's been involved in raising funds for quite a number of years to install water pumps in Uganda, the village where he was brought up, in which they didn't have a clean supply of water for a long, long time. And he had the first pump installed, and when he went to see the results, he was so impressed by the children, their activities, the way they were living was so changed just for the fact of having clean water to drink and wash. And of course, the villages round about, they also got to know about this. So of course, they were all coming as well and queuing up to get fresh water. So he raised money for a second pump. But it's £6,000 per pump. And at the moment, his fundraising's dried up for various reasons, partly his own health, or of course his wife dying. And so I'm not sure if he's ever going to start up again. But one of his fundraisings was to open the shop in Bathgate. Well, not open it, but to take over for a week the sale which the council allowed to happen for charities to raise funds. So it was donated gifts that they put on show. But that stopped a couple of years ago because they really couldn't they were in trouble getting people to help in the shop, but the council stopped it as well, or the organisation in the councils had decided not to proceed. It was a good opening for lots of charities to raise funds.
It's always a good idea that use up empty shops.
Yeah, well, it seemed to bring in the money to it at the time, but it was very hard work organising it and storing all the items that the public donated. And I say the public, the Linlithgow people, he knew, he gave them anything that you could, it's almost like recycle goods, but he had some good, yeah, did some good stuff. But, and it's in his garage, by the way. It was storage for the shop which never opened because the council closed it. So he's got a garage full of materials which could be very useful. So if anyone's got any ideas what to do with it, I think he'd gladly welcome the offers, shall we say.
Good. Nick, are you cheering us this morning?
That's up to Tony.
No, Nick, well, I've come in a bit late to hear about your medical condition, so I'll have sympathy on you, but I can quite easily cheer it once a guest speaker, Christine, arrives.
She's there.
Yeah.
She's been here for a while.
I'll tell you what, Tony.
I don't see her. So I've only got 3 foot. I've only got Neil and Dorothy. Well,
I'll see if I'm still in practice for give you a rest for a week. With the new chemo days are Wednesdays, so Thursdays aren't too bad for me now. So I'll give you a rest if you like. So before we start, I've got one question. Alistair, have you actually? Welcome. Have you actually contacted anybody recently to see how they're doing? That's the people we don't see on here.
Not been able to contact the people who I know are not well. I just can't seem to get through to them.
Okay, I'll have a go as well. Maybe we can collect in some.
I was hoping that Mike might be able to help me with Alistair Moore.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how he's doing. I heard he wasn't doing all that well, but the phone just doesn't seem to get answered, and I've got no other contact, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was thinking the same about talking to Mike about it. I hoped he might be here today, but he's not. We've already earlier, when we were talking about subscriptions for this and what the funds are doing, agreed that some way or other I'll get in contact with him. And Chris is going to talk to him about, or email him via, John's going to email him via Chris to see if we can agree on paying John some of his expenses for this. So there are actions that we need to talk to Mike about anyway. Okay, I was
just hoping that Mike might have been able to help me because he's his next door neighbour.
Yeah, there's I can't remember who's the other side. He's surrounded by Probus members. I can check it, but anyway. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Christine. Anybody else? Comments? You can unmute yourselves, I think, if you would like, and ask questions, raise comments.
I've made several attempts to get to St Kilda, but never by sailing, but never actually managed it because of the weather windows.
Yes.
How often is it actually reasonable enough to land at St Kilda?
It's the main problem is if you get a storm, you have at least 2 days for the storm, the swell to go down before it's safe to land. So 1 year I was on the island, we had a whole week where nobody could get off and nobody could get back. I had 2 weeks when I was feeding 15 people, and I only had the food that was left to feed the few that were left with me. But I've had days on and off. It depends on the time of year. It depends on the day. One of the reasons we couldn't get off one day was because the only good day was a Sunday, and in the Western Isles, if you want to keep your business, you don't take your boat out on a Sunday. But most people do manage. It just seems to be a question of luck. The day boats who drive from Tarbert and Harris, what they do is they usually book you in for 1 day and another day. So that if you miss that 1 day, hopefully you've got the other day to go. But it is not as bad as it seems to be. I'm afraid is just a question of luck.
Yeah.
Chris, if I can add to that, we went in 2015 and got ashore on a lovely day first time. There were people on the NTS cruise who were on their 7th attempt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just is, as Christine said, luck.
I had something to that. Christine, thanks for that talk. I recognised the wrecked yawl that you showed in your photograph. I don't know if you know. It's called the Avocet. It was
That's right. Yes.
friends of mine who owned it. They lived in it in Bowling Canal Basin, and then they put it out to charter. And I think it was August. They sailed some to St Kilda. It was a storm. She was washed ashore. The army very kindly threw out a huge anchor and hauled her off the beach. And just before they secured it, they went back to the pub, and another gale came in, and she was back on the beach. You know, that must have been about 1963, 64 maybe.
Yeah, yeah. No, I knew the name of the boat because somebody had been in touch to try and get the mast back because it was still on the island at the time.
Oh.
I'm not sure if they did get their mast back or not. But the bell at the church, which called the parishioners in to their services, came from a larger boat which foundered off the shore as well. So there are a number of ships that have gone down in that area. In fact, there was a Spanish trawler in about 6 years ago. 3 of them came into the village bay when there was a storm, and they couldn't get anchored properly. So they went round and round Village Bay and trying to wait out the storm. Unfortunately, I think someone on the important parts of one of them fell asleep, and the boat went onto the rocks. And there was a big problem then, of course, because it being a nature reserve, they were petrified there might have been rats on the boat. And so they had to put out, traps and everything. The Spanish master of the boat was absolutely horrified to think that they thought that he had rats on his boat. But it took 2 years for them to clear the boat away. Big arguments about insurance and whose job it was. And there were still little bits of foam and stuff coming onto the beach for a couple of years afterwards.
Christine, when do you keep the archives? Do you have to go into Edinburgh for that, or is it?
Well, there's basically 2 archives. There's the archive at the National Trust for Scotland, which is where stuff can be kept in correct archival condition, i.e. it's got the archive paper, it's got the temperature control and the humidity control. And then there's a pile of old papers that I got in my bedroom. The committee of the St Kilda Club come from all areas and parts, and they collect bits and bobs and they hand them to me at committee meetings. And I've even I'm the chair of the Edinburgh Archaeological Field Society, and I've got one of my members gets the Oban Times and brings me cuttings on a regular basis. So I have a pile here. My husband's not terribly pleased about it. And the more important things, for instance, when the islanders left, in every house they left the Bible open at Exodus. And one of those Bibles has been retrieved and is one of the things that we've presented to the National Trust to keep safe. What I have been doing is trying to contact people who are in Operation Hard Rock, who are obviously in their late 80s now, and trying to get their stories and possibly photographs. And some of those photographs you saw are ones that I've retrieved from them, copied and then given back, so that we've got that continuity of knowledge.
Well, that's good. So anybody that wants to apply for stuff applies to you, and then if necessary, they can see it. The PhD students and the like can go to the
There's a reading room at the National Trust for Scotland where the majority of the stuff is. And you contact Ian Richards, the National Trust's archivist, and you can access stuff there, which is more comfortable than accessing it in my place.
And not allowed now. Anybody else got any questions? Either unmute yourself and ask, or wave your hand. Because if not, unmute yourselves so we can give a round of applause. Oh, and my phone will go off now. Must be time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I hope it was okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
bit difficult when you can't get the feedback from people.
Yes, I appreciate that.
It is.
It's not easy, but it was excellent. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Superb.
Next time round, I think we've got Ken Richardson talking about rugby. So we can all look forward to that. That's in a fortnight's time. The 50th anniversary of Linlithgow Rugby Football Club he's going to be talking about. So look forward to seeing you then. And in the meantime, between now and then, I will make a proposal to our treasurer that we charge everybody that's been taking part in these Zoom meetings £10 a year for the privilege of doing so, and that will cover the costs. Okay.
Can I ask a question first, please?
First, on you go.
Sorry. I just wondered, 4 weeks ago when we had the presentation on Waverley that told us what was going to happen 2 weeks later, he asked us for money but promised us that we would get face masks. I wonder whether anybody had got a face mask as a result of any contribution they'd made.
I both made a contribution and got a face mask, so at least one of us has.
Oh, right. How did you get the face mask?
I know David quite well. He's the treasurer of the Canal Society, so I got it physically from him. But I'm quite sure that the offer still stands if anybody wants to make a contribution.
And the Waverley needs a lot of money at the moment after its little.
Well, I think the more serious thing is what the MCA are going to do, because I suspect they're going to prevent the Waverley from sailing into Brodick.
Yeah.
That's one of its major ports of call, so it could be quite interesting to see what happens. Brodick Pier was specifically designed to accommodate the Waverley, and it apparently is diabolically difficult to get in there without banging into something, as the demonstration showed.
Yeah, can I just make sure that we've got the date, that if I've worked it out right, that's the 8th of October you're talking about for the next meeting?
Yes, Nick, that's absolutely right.
Okay, I didn't want to turn up, and what I will do, hope you don't mind, Tony, but you can do the next one. If you're still, Tony, are you happy with that? Oh yeah, you're still.
Tony's still muted, so you're going to have to unmute himself to comment.
Are you happy to do
Yes,
this?
yes, I'm quite happy. There's one thing, is Christine still there? Is she still available? Christine?
No,
I
she's
can't
gone.
see her.
Oh, she's gone.
I think she's
So
gone.
it's just, what I was going to ask her was, in the evenings for entertainment, do they sing the birdie song? You know the birdie song by the Tweets?
Thank God you didn't ask her.
Well, she's gone.
I could have played it.
Now we know why she left. Well,
She's gone.
Before Tony burst into song, perhaps we should all say goodbye to each other.
Yeah.
Right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John, for organising this, and Chris for putting it out.
No bother.
Thank you.